And we're live. Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin' Hippo. Thanks for joining me tonight. It is Tuesday and it is February 2nd. So we are 2 days into February 2021. I'm going to give this a couple minutes to let folks filter on in. I know sometimes the notification sometimes is a little delayed, letting people know I've gone live. There's some distraction noises coming from back there. I believe that is the notification. So that's how delayed it is. Anyway, I'm going to let folks kind of stumble in. And if you're here and you can see me and you can hear me, kind of let me know. And we'll just kind of let people come in while I shoot the breeze. And then we'll get into the meat of the topic tonight. So today is February 2nd, we are starting a new month, and this week I'm going to start a new challenge. I'm going to have a video come up on Saturday. There's going to be a listing challenge that we're going to run through this month that I'm going to participate in with you guys. It's going to be kind of exciting. I haven't done a challenge on this channel since 2019. I haven't done a lot of things on this channel since 2019. I kind of feel like 2020 was poop. It was the year of the poop. And I feel like because so much was going on in 2020 and so much of it was kind of just a lot of things went to the wayside. So this will be the first challenge of 2021. It's going to be a listing challenge. I'm excited about that. I got a lot of what sold videos coming out this week, as I usually do after a month wraps up. But hopefully we're all gearing up. We're gearing up. We're putting clothing on and gearing up. We're not gearing up. We're revving up is what I meant to say. We're not gearing up. Hi, Kim. Hopefully we're all revving up as we move into the second month of Q1 in 2021 for a good year in online sales. We don't know what's going to happen. A lot's up in the air. 2021 has kind of been not as we had hoped. I think a lot of people kind of had this notion that 2021 was just going to roll on in and be better than 2020. Didn't really happen that way. But so far, I don't think 2021 rolled in and said, here 2021, here 2020, hold my beer either. So it didn't come in any worse. But there's a lot going on and I don't know what's going to happen. But I think as long as we continue best business practices and do what we should be doing, we'll all be fine. So that is my chit chat as I wait. And I think I lost you guys for a second there. Hopefully I'm back. I think I lost internet for a second, but I'm here. Make sure you can hear me and see me. I don't know what happened there, but I'm here. 50 Space Queen is here. Welcome in. All right, so let me refresh over here, see what we got going on as far as how many people are here before I jump in. If you guys ever do miss any part of the show or you come in late, these do get uploaded to YouTube and you can go back and watch the replays or any part of the replays that you missed. I'm going to try to keep this to about, I want to say half hour, but it'll probably go tomorrow towards 40 minutes tonight and let you guys go early. I sound like a teacher. I'm going to let you guys go early tonight. I'm going to put this on silent because Keith and Casey like to be annoying when I'm on live shows. I should blow up Casey's phone when he's live, huh? All right, so tonight we're going to talk about, are you ready to file your taxes? Here's the thing. As most of you know by now, nothing I do is done without preparation and planning. Nothing can be small or simple. Everything with me has to be this big production, this big to-do. I have to make a list. I have to make a list before I make my list. So I have to make a to-do list, and then that tells me what I need for my main list. and then I can do what I'm supposed to do. That's just me. That's how I function. I'm very organized, and I like to have lists so that I don't forget anything I need. So when I go to file with Keith, when we go to file together taxes, before we sit down together to do them, I typically make a list, and then I have him double check me, and then we get all of the stuff together that we need. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about what you should do in preparation to file, and feel free to take notes or come back later and watch the replay and take notes, or as you're listening tonight, and you can make your lists. So I actually do this every year. I make these lists, and then I gather everything we need, and it's all organized on a table in piles, and then we go through each pile and input it into our GoDaddy as we go, so that everything is there. We don't forget anything, down to, we call them defects, but I think some people just call them losses. So in order to file your 2020 federal taxes, you're going to need a lot of paperwork, which you should have already, or you should have very soon. Businesses have a deadline of January 31st every year. That's not new. Every year, January 31st is the deadline given by the IRS to businesses to issue any 1099s and W-2s. So if you have a job outside of the house, in addition to your online reselling business, you know that you got a W-2 from your employer, and they had to have it to or postmarked by January 31st. So that deadline doesn't mean it has to be in your hot little hand. It just means it has to be postmarked. So if you don't have these things yet, you should very soon, because they would have been postmarked. So your 1099s, your W-2s, should all have been issued. Now, not every platform gives a 1099, so be careful with that. And not every platform will issue the 1099s if you don't hit a certain plateau. So eBay and PayPal, they do issue 1099s, but you have to make $20,000 in sales and 200 sold items. And it's not an or. So it's not $20,000 gross sales or 200 items sold. It's $20,000 in sales and 200 items sold. You have to hit both benchmarks in order for PayPal to issue you a 1099, and in order for eBay to issue you one. Here's where a lot of resellers get themselves into trouble. If you didn't hit both of those benchmarks and you didn't get a 1099, that doesn't mean you don't have to report your income. Officially, if you make $1, you should be reporting it to the IRS. I think it varies from state to state, but we're talking about federal income, and I believe that might be $600. I haven't looked it up in a very long time because I have to file, and I know I do. But you should be reporting all of your income to the IRS. There's no excuses. If you don't get a 1099 because you didn't hit the 20K plus 200 items, it's up to you to figure out how much you made in gross sales and report it without a 1099. And there are ways to do that without a 1099. So you have to, as a responsible small business owner, figure out your sales. And then you've got places like Bonanza and Poshmark and Grailed and Etsy and all these other places that do not issue 1099s, and you have to figure out what your sales are. There is a way to get a printout from Poshmark of your total amount of sales, but it's not an official 1099. It's just a place you can go to get it's like a spreadsheet, and it shows you all of your sales over the year and what your totals are. So you can get that information easily from Poshmark just to get that total to plug in. But you have to be responsible. You have to get all your 1099s together, your W-2s. You have to figure out everywhere that you've sold this year, everywhere that you have sold. And you have to figure out how much you're sold on each platform and write that down somewhere, because you're going to have to plug that into your taxes. Kim, I'm going to advise you to ask for help from a CPA or a tax preparer. I am not qualified to answer that question, and I'm not certified to answer that question. I don't feel qualified to answer that question. So get up with a professional who can tell you how to do that. So once you have all your 1099s, your W-2s, if you work outside of the home at a different job, and some of your jobs that you may have outside of the home might give you 1099s as well. Like if you have a freelancing job, I used to do content writing from home, and they gave me 1099s. I'm not sure how like Uber Eats and Uber drivers do, but anywhere that you're earning any kind of income from, get your papers together and all the platforms that you sell on, and get all of that together. And then you're going to have to get together all the other types of income that you're going to need. Like if you had a big windfall at a casino and you won a bunch of money, I know that you have to claim that. I know that there are situations where you have to claim alimony and child support, whether you're the receiver or the payer. Depends on your situation. So you want to get that information together. Then if you have IRAs, 401ks, money market accounts, if you pay taxes on your house, there's all different situations for all different people. And you should know what your situation is and any of those things that you have that you're going to need for when you file. We've all been filing taxes for all of our lives ever since we started working at 16, 17, or 18, whatever your age was. The only difference now is that we're small business owners, and so we have to do things a little bit differently. But we've all known, for the most part, what they ask you on your taxes about those other things, like do you own a boat? Do you own a car? Do you own a house? Do you have a 401k? All that stuff. So get all that paperwork together and any information you need pertaining to that. Then you're going to need all of your receipts, unless you've been keeping track of everything as you go all year. If you are super duper organized, you're going to have no issue with that. Some of us aren't. So if you don't put every single time that you spend money on your business, whether it's a cost of goods or a business expense, if you haven't been keeping track of that in a spreadsheet or QuickBooks or GoDaddy somewhere, if you haven't been keeping track of that from January 1st through December 31st of 2020, you're going to need all of your receipts, because now's the time to enter that. If you've only been keeping track of some of it, kind of touch and go, iffy here and there, get all your receipts together and double check yourself. Make sure that every single piece of inventory that you purchased that was a cost of goods is being entered somewhere. Whether you're using QuickBooks, GoDaddy, bookkeeping, or if you have a spreadsheet system that you're using that you created for yourself for your bookkeeping, but you need to get all of that stuff together, and your receipts and everything, and you need to account for every single piece of inventory, because that is a write-off for you and you want to be able to claim that. And then in addition to the cost of goods are all of your expenses. So every roll of Dymo labels, if you bought a thermal printer for your business last year, if you bought a regular printer, every time you had to buy ink for that printer or paper for that printer, every time you bought tape, polymailers, bubble mailers, tissue paper, scissors, business cards, thank you cards, bins to store your inventory in. Did you have to buy a new laptop? Did you buy a microphone or a camera because you started a YouTube channel? Do you use, I totally had a brain fart there. I was going to say, if you bought receipt books to take to your garage sales, those receipt books are still a write-off as well. Any office supplies like that you purchase, that you use solely for your business, you want to write them off. And that includes big purchases too, like printers and laptops, as long as they're solely for your business. Don't go buy, a brand new computer that you use for your gaming and then claim it off for a business expense. And then don't forget to get together anything that you're going to claim as far as office space in your house. If you have storage space in your house. Now, remember, when you do that on your taxes, they make sure that that is solely used for your business. So you can't claim your bedroom as your office. You have to have a room that is your office. If you have a room that's dedicated just to storing your inventory, you can't see your kitchens where you store your stuff. If you have a storage unit off campus, that's what I was going to say. If you have a storage unit off campus, no. If you have a storage unit away from your home or a warehouse or anything like that and you pay on it, that's a write-off. Your mileage, which you should have been keeping track of all year, and GoDaddy bookkeeping, if you use that, has an app for that. Portions of your phone and your internet and stuff like that are a write-off. Again, I can advise you guys to go to a CPA or a tax preparer. I am in no way, shape, or in any way, shape, or form at all certified a tax specialist, or I can't even math. 2 + 2 is 5. I'm an English person. I don't math, and I don't advise on taxes or anything like that. I can give you all this information because this is basic information that I'm absolutely comfortable giving you. This is all stuff that I know for a fact that we can put together, make a list of all of this information and get all these papers together to sit down and file. But if you have specific questions, like a percentage of your phone bill, what percentage of my phone bill can I claim? What percentage of my house can I claim? Those kind of questions you're going to need to take to a professional. If you haven't been filing for a few years, or if you're unsure of your money market account or any of those like really specific questions, I really suggest you get a professional. In fact, I have a note here for myself to remind me to tell you guys that if this is your first or second, and in many cases, I even recommend for your third year filing taxes as a small business owner, I cannot recommend enough that you get a CPA at the very least. They're very expensive though. So if you can't afford a CPA, at least hire a tax preparer. At least for the first 2 years, get a tax preparer. If you can afford it, a CPA is a little bit better, and do it for the first 3 years. But if you can't afford a CPA, if they're too expensive, at the minimum 2 years, get a tax preparer. Go to H&R Block or somewhere like that and watch what they do. Ask a lot of questions. Learn while they're filing your taxes. I know that before we were all small business owners, we would just take our W-2s and throw them at someone and just kind of not pay attention, right? They'd file your taxes for you and you'd be doing whatever on your phone. Pay attention. Ask questions. Look at what they're doing. Read the paperwork. Learn as they're doing it, so in year 3 or year 4, you can do it yourself. There are places online like H&R Block and TurboTax that have amazing walkthroughs that ask you really great questions as you go through and you file that will help you know what you need to do as a small business owner. And it asks really the word that's coming to my brain is innovative, but that's not the word I want. In-depth questions about what you're filing, and it can help you, but it's still, to me, not good enough if this is brand new to you. If this is year 1 or 2, even a walkthrough program like TurboTax or H&R Block online, I would still say you need an actual trained professional in front of you helping you with it. And then in year 3, after you've sat with a professional for a couple years, you can go online and do the walkthroughs that help you. But actually, absolutely, please get a professional. All I can do is tell you all of the things that you can claim and all of the things that you need to get together and be organized about. Sit down with a pen and a piece of paper and make a list of all the things that you need to file your taxes. Do you have W-2s? Do you have 1099s? Make a list of every platform you sell on and then write down how much you made on each platform, because not all of them are going to give you a piece of paperwork. You're going to just have to kind of figure out what you sold on that platform. Places like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. When you go to figure out your cost of goods, when you did garage sales, hopefully you did write your own receipts and things like that. You're going to have to get all that together. Did you keep track of your donations? Like, did you have to redonate things? Because if you're going to write those off as donations, you need to not write them off as a cost of goods, because then that's a double write-off. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, a professional can help you. But if you went to Goodwill and you got 5 items on Dollar Day, and you got all 5 home, and you put it into your spreadsheet that you spent $5 on cost of goods, but one of your jeans you discover has a hole in the crotch and you can't sell it, so it's a defect, and you throw it away. And then one pair of jeans has a flaw that's not bad enough to throw it away, but it kind of makes you not want to resell it anymore, so you put that back in the redonate pile. So now you're left with 3 pairs of jeans that you can sell. One of these you defected, and one of these you threw away, or defected to throw away, and one you're redonating. You've got to take that $2 off your cost of goods and put the $1 on your defect and $1 on your redonate, because you can't claim this $2 twice. Does that make sense? So hopefully you've been keeping track of that all year. Every single thing you bought for the business, I did say that. And that includes everything. I know a lot of people don't think about it, but everything you buy. If you went to buy a pack of pens because you aren't a person who likes pens like I do, and you don't have pens around your house, but you started writing down your mileage and creating your own receipts for garage sales, and you had to buy a pack of pens at Walmart for $3, that $3 is a business expense now. If you bought a pack of pads to keep track of that stuff, and any supplies, if you bought paper clips to clip your tags on your inventories for your system, that's a write-off. Any supplies like lint rollers, the Awesome Cleaner, that Gooby Gone stuff some of y'all use, the OxyClean. If you buy laundry detergent to wash your clothes in, if you bought a steam cleaner this year, the paper for the photo light, the photo background, the photo lights, if you had to replace the light bulbs. I mean, just think about every single thing that you use in your business every single day. That's all write-offs. And then there's going to be some things that you're going to share with the business, and that's where you're going to have to ask for help from a professional, such as portions of your house, portions of your phone and your internet bills. If you bought a new cell phone, if you upgraded your cell phone because you needed a better camera for your pictures, for your listings, sometimes they can help you with writing off a portion of that upgrade, things like that. Personally, we use GoDaddy bookkeeping. We started using that in the beginning because it syncs with PayPal. So way back when, before eBay managed payments, when everything went through PayPal, we liked GoDaddy because we synced it to PayPal and we hardly had to do any work with it. So all of our eBay sales just automatically went into GoDaddy. We had to add our own receipts for cost of goods and our business expenses and things like that. But anything that happened to PayPal was automatically uploaded to GoDaddy, which was really nice. Plus, it was cheaper than QuickBooks. Plus, it was a lot easier than QuickBooks. I've used QuickBooks before. To me, it's not very user-friendly, especially if you're new to this kind of thing. It's a little difficult. GoDaddy, I just logged in and self-taught myself within like a half an hour of how to get around and use stuff. So I like GoDaddy. It's cheaper. But if you want to save... Oh, and paying for GoDaddy, guess what? If you have GoDaddy bookkeeping or QuickBooks, that's a write-off. If you are paying for List Perfectly, that's a write-off. All your fees on eBay, Poshmark, all of that. But if you're trying to save money and be frugal, there are spreadsheets out there. There's a lot of, I think even Casey has one for free that helps you keep your books together. But you can create your own spreadsheets too. And keep your bookkeeping in spreadsheets. 50 Space Queen wants to buy a thermal printer. I'm not sure which laptop you have, but most thermal printers are compatible with like everything. And thermal printers definitely will save you money in the long run because you never write ink. I know back in the day when we first started and we had to print our labels with a Canon printer, we were buying ink every week and a half, 2 weeks when we really started going and making daily sales. And we had to cut each paper in half, and then we had to tape it to the package. So we were wasting paper. We were using a lot of tape. We were buying a lot of printer ink. And it just got to the point where it was time. You'll know when it's time. And then we switched to the thermal printer, and we just never looked back. It has saved so much money and time. Taping those labels on is for the birds. Kim does not understand the fees on eBay. So they do the managed payments is new, and they do things a little bit differently than they used to. And they do fees based on category and whether you're top rated seller. I think they have charts out there to help you. I can't off the top of my head right now, like on the spot, like this list fees, because I know that the final value fees are different for different categories and whether or not you're top rated seller. And then if you're promoting listings and stuff like that. But if you Google it, I'm sure that they have charts somewhere that you can look at. I just average 15%, but that's not going to help you if you're trying to actually understand the actual fees for taxes. Let me see if I can do a video like next week on it. I don't know if that'll help, if you needed help now or not. But yeah, they are very convoluted. They are very confusing when you're new because, again, they're not like Poshmark is 20%, period. Doesn't matter what you sell, doesn't matter who you are, 20%. And they take their fee out before they pay you. eBay's percentages vary depending on the category, if you're top rated, and they don't know. It's very convoluted and hard to understand. I get that. I gotta go get ink. Yeah, we were like buying it like every other week. Now, when we first started and we were selling one item every 2 days, one item every 3 days, it was fine. But then when we got to the point where we were making daily consistent sales, that's when it got to be a real pain in the ass, excuse me, but it really was. You'll know when it's definitely time. So you should get a 1099 from eBay if you sold 20,200 items. If not, there should be a report somewhere. I don't know that on the spot off the top of my head because we always get a 1099. Are you in the Facebook group? Because if you are, if you're not, join. If you are, make a thread and ask, and myself or someone else in the group can assist you with that. I cannot answer that off the top of my head because I have never had to get one. I'm sure the answer is yes, but we've always got a 1099. Hello, Swamp Picker. Welcome in. The fees really are, they seem like a lot, but they're not. If you think about if you started a brand new brick and mortar business, what it would cost you to rent a building and rent the space and the shelving and the things that you would need to hang the clothing on and the shelving and the employees and the cleaning crew and the cash register. If you just thought about every single thing that you would need to go into that brick and mortar, it's so cheap. eBay's fees are so cheap to do this from home. I personally feel like I like Poshmark's system better. And I know a lot of people balk and they're like, oh, but Poshmark's 20%. It's so expensive for their fees. But Poshmark doesn't have store subscription fees and they don't have promoted listing fees. So at the end of the day, I honestly feel like Poshmark's a little cheaper because we're paying a subscription fee every month to eBay. And once we use up those allotted listings that we get, which we do by the second week, by like the 14th or 15th of every month, we're paying 10 cents a listing. We use them up so fast. And then we're paying to promote the listings, and then we're paying the final value fee. So I feel like 20% straight off the top with no other fees and no other fiddle farting around is a better deal. But even with eBay's all their fees and everything, it's so much better than starting a brick and mortar store. Trust me. Yeah, lots of ink. Oh, thank you so much, CS. I'm glad to see that you're in there. So there's got to be somebody that's in that group that is a part-time seller or a hobby seller or a new seller that hasn't hit the threshold of 20K and 200 yet, 200 sold items, that knows. And if they don't answer you and they don't know, I will find the answer for you and get back to you. Just post in there and ask, tag me if you want, or just see if anyone can answer you first and then tag me, whatever. Someone will get you the answer. Hey, mom's in the house. Casey's mom is here, everybody. Say hello to Mama Rockstar there. Welcome in. Good to see you. So I think I've covered everything I wanted to tell you guys. Did I tell you about the myths that you have to file your taxes even if you don't get a 1099, right? So even if you don't get a 1099, say you don't get one from PayPal because you didn't sell 20,200 items. You may have sold 19,000. That you would still have to report that to Uncle Sam. The IRS doesn't play games, guys. They're not kidding. In fact, the IRS has like an entire criminal division of agents, and I'm not joking you. People laugh when they hear about this because you think about the IRS and you think about audits. You think about math nerds. No offense, IRS. Math nerds are cool. Keith's a math nerd. But you think about, math nerds, right? But they have allegedly, they have a whole agency within the IRS of agents that go after folks who commit tax fraud, and they actually are like trained, like FBI agents and like martial arts, and they carry guns and they can arrest you and put handcuffs on you, and they know how to fight, and they're basically like FBI agents, but they're IRS auditors. They're like smart math nerds who know how to fight and carry guns. So they're no joke. They don't play around. You cannot cheat the IRS. They are serious business and they do not play around. In fact, there are two two famous criminals who went down because they didn't pay their taxes. Al Capone, that's how they finally got him. And from what I understand, that is why they bring in the one agency, the cool math nerds with the guns that know how to fight. Sometimes if like the DEA or the FBI or like other agencies are having a problem bringing in like a criminal that they know is committing crimes, if they're having trouble finding enough evidence on them or catching them in the act to arrest them for a crime, but they know darn well that they're committing tax fraud, they'll bring in the IRS agency people and catch them in a tax fraud that they can arrest them for, and then they get them for everything. And that's how they got Al Capone. They got him for tax fraud. I want to say there was a serial killer. Ted Bundy got pulled over because he didn't have his lights on or something, so it wasn't him. I want to say there was a famous serial killer who actually got caught because of tax fraud. And I'm the serial killer like knowledge queen, and I'm having a total brain fart. But like Martha Stewart, you guys know of Martha Stewart and Cuba Gooding Jr., two famous people went to jail for tax fraud. But I swear there was a serial killer they caught for it. They don't play around. So listen, even if you don't get a 1099, you have to file your taxes. You have to report your income to Uncle Sam. You have to tell them what you made. If you didn't make a lot, if you made very little, you're not going to owe anything. Legitimately, it's going to balance out. If you legally and legitimately report everything that you are allowed to report for a write-off, and your income, it's going to either balance out or you're going to get money back, or you're going to, write it off as a loss this year or whatever. So don't try to cheat the system. Don't try to not file because, I didn't make enough. You have to. You have to file. You have to report your income. And if you do everything on the up and up and you keep track of everything you spend money on, you'll be okay. You're not going to, if you're a small bean seller that didn't even get a 1099, you're not going to owe 10 grand to the IRS. You're not going to owe so much that it's going to break you. And report everything that you're entitled to. These write-offs that I talked about, you're entitled to those. They're there for a reason. Use them. But don't just assume because you didn't get a 1099 that you don't have to report your income. Places like Poshmark don't even give 1099s, and you have to report the money that you make there. I'm going to catch up on the chat. Hey, Donatella, welcome in. Thanks for stopping in to say hi. Hawaii Flower Child is doing the Valentine's Day plush listing. Cool. Let's not talk about the snow because Star's not happy about the snow right now. I really am not happy about the snow. Carrie Berry's mom. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome in. Her husband's best friend is one of those IRS guys. That's cool. Hawaii got snow? Are you kidding? You're not kidding, but I mean, like, really? Daphne used to work with the IRS. Casey's mom used to work with the IRS guys. Mama Rockstar, serious business. I would consult a professional. I'm not going to advise you on that, Hawaii Flower Child. No snow here. I cannot wait until we no longer have to deal with snow and cold. This is the absolute last winter I will deal with this. I'm telling you. I'm so mad. My car is covered in snow right now. I am going to have to dig it out tomorrow just to go get groceries. I'm not going to have to dig it out. Let me rephrase that. I don't dig it out because of my back. I'm going to have to walk through snow to a car, and I'm going to have to sit inside of it and watch Keith dig it out. But it's still annoying. Kim says, I'm so glad I haven't made. Yeah, the day you're paying $10,000 to the IRS, let me know because it's not fun. There you go. You file it anyway, and then you break even or you get money back. Philly is My name is Star, and geography is also not my specialty. I don't math and I don't geography. No. I was about to say it's 4 miles, and that's not correct. Philly is on the other side of the state, Donatella. So it's East Coast. I'm on the West. It's about 4.5, 5 miles away. It's the other whole side of the state. For real. Snow on top of a volcano. Poor Keith. Poor Keith. You have to clear off the car while I sit inside. But, it's not like the car's already warm when I get in, and I have to freeze a little, and I have to watch him clear off the car. That's not that fun. In fact, we've been walking our packages to the post office the last 2 days because we actually... You guys want to know something funny about Keith and I? This is how much we hate snow and clearing off cars. So it's been snowing all weekend, pretty much here. And Monday and today, each day, we kind of peek out the window. We see how much snow is on the sidewalk. And if it's coming down out of the sky, we check the temperature. And then we weigh our options. And we choose the worst evil. Is it going to be worse to have to clean off the car? Or to walk to the post office, which is like 2 blocks away. And each day it seemed like it would be worse to clear off the car. So we just kind of bundled up and walked to the post office. But tomorrow we do have to go get groceries. And he promised me a hamburger for lunch. I get to go out for lunch and get a hamburger, which is my favorite food in the whole world other than salad. So we're going to have to clear it off. We had full sun here in Alabama. I like to walk to the PO when the weather is nice also. It's not that far. It's like 2 blocks. It gets me outside, gets me some vitamin D and some fresh oxygen, some exercise. Sucks in this weather, but again, it's like, what's worse? It's by the time we clear off the car, we could have walked there and back. So, you're out in the elements the same amount of time, but you could have already been home and had a couple cups of coffee made or hot chocolate, whatever. We bought this pumpkin spice hot chocolate. Let me tell you guys, it makes me a valley girl, but it's pumpkin spice hot chocolate. It's so good. Have Keith pull me on a sled. Yeah, I'd never get back up. I don't think I could get back up from that. But yeah, so we've been walking. The snow's cleared. We're not walking in the snow. Like, the sidewalk has been cleared. If it was like crunching through snow, I don't know that I would walk. I think it would be better to clear off the car. But there's a path. And then I put on 2 shirts, a sweatshirt, a hoodie, and a winter coat, and a scarf and gloves. And I wear my mask. I really don't like cold. Can you tell? All right, we're like totes off topic. But if you guys do see the pumpkin spice hot chocolate by Swiss Miss in your stores, I guess you won't see it till this fall, this autumn, and you like pumpkin spice and you like chocolate. It sounds like it's a weird combination. It's very delicious. And what we like to do is split a package of it in half, and then make, we have the Keurig, so we'll make a cup of coffee each with half split. You know what I mean? Like, each take half the packet into the coffee with just like a splash of milk. It's really good. And it kind of like makes it not as sweet. There's your coffee recipe for the day. All right, guys. I'm pretty sure that's everything. I really want to make sure I address the myths. Make sure you're filing because, again, the IRS is serious business and they don't play. They catch criminals. And I don't want to see any of you guys go to jail because you just didn't know. The second most important thing I wanted to address was ask a professional. If you can't afford a CPA, I know they're expensive, go to the mall, or the Walmart has the H&R Block people out now. They still have to, even though COVID, because they had them last year. You got to wear a mask, big deal. Go to an H&R Block person if you can't afford a CPA. Bye, Mom. See you later. Yeah, so get some help. And I know a lot of y'all have friends that are CPAs or tax preparers. Ask your friend, take him out to dinner for his troubles or whatever. But just ask a professional. Make sure you're doing things the correct way because no one wants to be audited. Even if you didn't, even if you're 1,000% sure that you were right, it is a headache to get audited. And that brings me around to my other point. When you hire a tax preparer or a CPA, if you get audited, you don't have to deal with it. So if you hired a CPA or a tax preparer or H&R Block or whatever to do your taxes for you, and for whatever reasons you were to get audited, they take care of it. They do the whole thing. They deal with it. And you don't have to at all. No headache for you. They do it because that's part of why you paid them. So that's another good thing for hiring somebody. But yeah, sit down, with a pen and piece of paper. A pen and a piece of paper. I said that right. And just make a list of all the things that you think you're going to need. And then get some help and get to filing. The earlier you file, the earlier it's out of the way. Says the girl who waits till April 14th every year and sometimes asks for an extension. But this is the one thing that I have to tell you, please do as I say and not as I do. Taxes and accounting and money, or not money, but taxes and books and accounting. It's the one thing that I will procrastinate. And, if they tell me like last year, oh, you have till July. Okay, well, fine. I'm going to wait till July. Don't be me. Don't be me. Get them filed earlier than sooner. Give yourself a nice reward. We usually go for an ice cream after we're done. Treat yourself to something when you're done. And it's not that bad. Once you're done, most of the time, once you get all your deductions in that you are entitled to, don't cheat, take what you're allowed. Most of the times it helps a lot. And even if you end up owing something, it's okay. And most of us as business owners actually should be doing this quarterly. So when you get that professional help, ask them about that too. All right. If you think of any questions, comments, or concerns later on that you forgot to ask during the show, feel free to come back on the channel to the replay and put the comment in, or go to the Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod, and make a post there and tag me. If you're not in the group, you should be. I can't express to you guys enough how great of a reselling community that place is. And hit the thumbs up before you leave. It really helps the channel so much. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Help us feed some hungry hippos. And go be productive. Go get your lists ready, your papers together. And I guess go make some money. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. You guys are the best. Bye.